Have you ever wondered if that woman who just walked into your life is truly the one for you? Maybe she didn't make big promises nor tried to impress you, yet somehow, being near her brings you a strange sense of calm, almost unsettling. While most chase butterflies in their stomach, wiser men know that the true sign of connection lies in peace. Yes, it's counterintuitive, but when it's real, it doesn't burn, it soothes. The truth is, the right woman doesn't make a grand entrance. She arrives quietly and changes everything. And when you are present, grounded, and emotionally aligned with your path, you notice it fast. The problem is, most men are so numbed by appearances, intensity, and emotional hunger that they overlook the true signs of silent compatibility. Worse yet, they lose women who could have changed their story. Not for lack of love, but for lack of awareness. You don't need to go through that anymore. Today, you'll discover what few men truly know. The clear, yet subtle, signs that a woman isn't just another chapter. She might be the one who came to build, not to drain. The one who doesn't distract you from your purpose, but aligns with it. The one you don't just want to conquer, but honor. And once you see that, your perspective shifts, and so does your life. Because when it's meant to be, the world doesn't shout. It goes silent. And in that silence, you begin to see the first sign. 1. The peace you feel when she appears. There's something beyond words when you meet someone who aligns with your essence. It's not about overexcitement or butterflies in your stomach. Most of the time, that's just anxiety in disguise. What truly matters is the inner peace she brings from the very first moments. A comfortable silence, without the need to impress, says it all. That silent compatibility is the first sign that maybe, just maybe, she's not just any woman. A man who cultivates self-observation quickly senses when he's in a space that nourishes him. A nourishing feminine presence doesn't require effort. She inspires without words, soothes without control, adds without intrusion. She looks at you with truth, not demand. And then you realize it's not just chemistry, it's natural affinity, the kind you can't fake. When conversation flows, even in silence, your body relaxes, your laughter softens, time slows down. That's not luck. That's alignment. Masculine intuition, when shaped by experience rather than neediness, recognizes these signs without needing a manual. Many men ignore that instinct, trading calm for intensity, mistaking desire for direction. But a man who's embraced emotional detachment, who no longer seeks to fill voids, sees what's in front of him without romanticizing. He notices the subtle signs, a genuine touch, attentive listening, spontaneous care for her own physical and mental health, without needing to prove anything to anyone. Strangely, with her, you feel more like yourself. No masks, no performance, no games. There's an authentic presence that invites you to breathe deeply, to laugh for no reason, to be vulnerable without fear. You begin to realize this woman doesn't try to change your pace. She respects your space, yet still fills it with something good. Conscious relationship is born here, when two people don't need to complete each other, but walk together lightly. This kind of connection doesn't come loud. It doesn't promise eternity or demand emotional proofs. It brings a calm confidence that settles in slowly, almost imperceptibly, but solid. You don't feel invaded, pressured, or judged. And this kind of woman, unknowingly, activates something ancestral within you. The desire to protect, to grow, to build. Not out of obligation, but by choice. A rational choice of the heart, and that changes everything. And maybe, just maybe, it's her lack of drama that disarms you the most. You don't feel the need to walk on eggshells or constantly prove your worth. She doesn't bring storms, she brings shelter. And in the midst of all the noise, competition, and hurry, this unexpected serenity puts you on alert. Because when everything feels too calm, the modern man grows suspicious. But the Stoic man, he observes, and begins to sense that maybe there's something greater behind it, or better yet, someone. 2. The lifestyle that reveals the right woman. She doesn't need to spell out what she values. Her lifestyle speaks for itself. A mindful man notices, in the smallest details, whether there's purpose alignment between them. It's not about being the same, but about moving in the same direction. The way she tends to her mind, body, and emotions, it all reveals whether she's at peace with herself or hoping a relationship will fix her inner chaos. Look closely. She eats well without obsession, sleeps peacefully, enjoys silence, reads meaningful books, and avoids gossip. That says a lot. These are habits that show emotional wisdom, not just discipline. A woman who's faced her own darkness is less reactive, more present, more generous. She doesn't dump her responsibilities on you, she shares them. That kind of presence is rare. Her nonverbal communication radiates maturity, even when her voice is soft. The Stoic man knows he's not looking for a savior, a muse, or a porcelain doll. He's looking for someone whole, or at least someone willing to become whole. That's where her authentic presence stands out. When she tells you about the therapy she's done, or how she overcame that past trauma, it's not drama, it's clarity. It's conscious relationship being planted from the start. Real stories, unfiltered, with lessons turned into strength. You don't need her to share your hobbies, but you do need to feel that there's silent compatibility in the way she chooses to live. If she exercises, meditates, keeps things organized, protects her energy, that directly affects the harmony of what you two could build. Chaos attracts chaos, but when there's emotional balance on both sides, everything flows with less resistance. Daily life feels light, plans gain traction, and time together becomes fuel, not fatigue. She respects your work time, understands when you need quiet, and even encourages your discipline. That's rare. That's a nourishing feminine presence that doesn't suffocate. She doesn't demand constant attention, but she's there, available, steady, serene. And the most impressive part, she does this without asking for applause. She doesn't want a stage. She just wants to walk beside someone who's also under construction. And that's when the mature man feels something new, peace. And peace is more attractive than any physical beauty. That's when you start noticing that her daily actions, the small choices, the repeated gestures, the values behind her routines, speak louder than any love declaration. And even if it's early, even if you're just getting to know her, something inside you begins to point in a direction. And in that direction lies the next revelation. 3. How she responds to your silence says everything. Many men test the wrong woman by being too available, when in truth, the real test lies in absence. Silence is a mirror, and how she reacts to your silence says far more than any conversation could. A woman with emotional attunement doesn't panic when you don't reply in 5 minutes. She doesn't invent drama, doesn't project insecurity. She gets it, because she's lived enough to know that a whole man needs space. He's not disappearing, he's centering himself. Masculine intuition knows when a woman trusts the process. She doesn't need your constant attention to feel secure. That quiet confidence is one of the most refined signs of maturity. And let's be clear, this isn't coldness. She cares, but she doesn't spiral. It shows she has her own life, her own projects, her own inner ground. It shows she too values silence. That inner peace means more than instant replies. Quick pause. If this kind of content is opening your eyes to things you used to overlook, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This is just the beginning. Let's keep going. In the early stages of a relationship, the most valuable tests are unintentional. You have to observe how she deals with pauses, because that's when the truth shows itself. A woman who's developed emotional wisdom will use waiting time to nourish herself, not to stir up conflict. And the aware man sees it. He notices the silent compatibility in the in-between moments, the empty spaces, the days when nothing special is happening. And yet, there's ease. Real-life example. You need to be away for a weekend to handle something important. She responds with, "Take care of what you need, and tell me how it went later." Simple. No guilt, no emotional blackmail, no passive-aggressive digs. That's the kind of nonverbal communication that says, "I trust you, and I trust myself." And the man notices. He feels he's beside a virtuous woman who lives in presence, not in expectation. This kind of behavior shows healthy emotional detachment. Don't confuse that with disinterest. Quite the opposite, she's involved but not dependent. And that's rare. Most are stuck in cycles of anxious attachment, needing instant feedback, constant validation, endless promises. The right woman doesn't want promises, she wants consistency. And that consistency begins with respect for silence. She doesn't demand presence, she invites it. And that changes everything. And in that moment, a man begins to notice something far beyond charm, looks, or witty banter. He sees there's a natural affinity in how she handles the unseen. That she understands the seasons of life, and that chasing the wind only leaves you tired. And once he sees that, a new kind of connection begins to take root. Not impulsive infatuation, but something deeper, calmer, preparing him for the next level of discovery. 4. Her conversations are so nourishing. You just want to talk again. It's easy to be enchanted by intellectually stimulating conversations, but the real test is in the simple ones. How does she talk about everyday things? How does she handle the little stuff? A woman's authentic presence shows when she can turn the ordinary into something beautiful to live through. When a casual talk over breakfast turns into laughter. When a childhood memory becomes a moment of growth. That's where genuine connection appears, not when there's a lot of talk, but when the talk feels right. A perceptive man can tell when a woman has depth, not just information. One thing is knowing how to talk about the world. Another is being able to speak about herself with clarity and grace. The right woman carries emotional wisdom. She shares her story without getting lost in it. She talks about pain, but doesn't glorify it. She shares her dreams, but doesn't flee the present. She opens up gradually with rhythm, without the urge to convince. And in that pacing, the man senses the silent compatibility that keeps him wanting more. She listens more than she talks. Doesn't interrupt, doesn't compete, doesn't turn every conversation into a performance. The man realizes he can share his thoughts without being corrected at every turn. He feels heard, not just listened to. This kind of conscious relationship is born from mutual exchange, where both want to understand, not win. Her listening is active, warm, grounded, and that creates inner peace in a kind of dialogue that builds, not drains. Real example, you mentioned feeling burnout and considering a career change. Instead of questioning your stability or judging your ambition, she asks, what would give more meaning to your work? Just one question. No criticism, no fear. That's purpose alignment in dialogue. These are the kinds of questions that show she's in tune with your worldview, even without knowing every detail. And it's there that the bond strengthens, without pressure. These conversations build a foundation. You feel inspired, not exhausted. You can be vulnerable without feeling weak. That reveals emotional balance on both sides. And the beauty? These talks don't follow a script. They just flow. They show up in the car, over a simple dinner, during a walk with no destination. And what was just another evening becomes a turning point. Because there you realize, emotional attunement can't be faked. It either exists or it doesn't. And then, before you know it, you're looking forward to talking again. Not because she entertains you, but because she gets you. Her words don't distract you, they deepen you. And the more this connection grows, the more you sense she might not just be good company. She might be the one meant to walk this path with you. 5. When she inspires you to become a better man, without saying a word. There's something rare that only self-aware men notice. Some women inspire you without even trying. They don't pressure you, don't push you, don't demand change. But simply by being present, they awaken in you an almost instinctive desire to evolve. That's the power of a nourishing feminine presence. She doesn't force, she ignites. And when that happens, a man realizes he's standing before something uncommon. It's like the best in him is being invited to come forward. This woman makes you want to wake up earlier, take better care of your body, think before you speak. And not because she asked, but because you simply want to rise to the level of the energy she radiates. That's natural affinity in motion. And it's completely different from trying to impress. It's not about flattery or desperate effort. It's about purpose alignment. She lives with so much truth that you start asking yourself, am I truly honoring who I am and who I could become? She doesn't need to remind you of your goals. The way she lives hers is enough. You observe how she takes care of her health, respects her own cycles, and nurtures her relationships, and you feel a good kind of discomfort, that inner nudge that whispers, I can do more. That's emotional detachment at its highest level. Because she doesn't drag you forward, she walks beside you. And in the quiet of everyday life, you begin to feel the pull to grow, not for her, but with her. Practical example, you've always wanted to pick up a new skill, maybe cooking better, studying philosophy, getting back to training. But you kept putting it off. Then after spending time with her, you find yourself signing up for a course, reading more, even sleeping better. No pressure. Just the inspiration that flows from being around a virtuous woman. It's as if her presence holds up a mirror, a silent mirror that reflects the best of you. The the part you had forgotten. This kind of influence is transformative because it's soaked in emotional wisdom. She shows you that growth doesn't have to be painful or forced. It can be light, consistent, natural. You start practicing deeper self-observation, asking yourself better questions, not out of insecurity, but out of a genuine desire to evolve. And all of this grows from a relationship rooted in emotional attunement, not competition. A space where you can be strong and sensitive, firm and gentle, all at once. And perhaps the greatest gift this woman gives you, without speaking a single word, is the desire to build something real. Something you can put your name on, your time, your truth. Because she doesn't distract you, she directs you. And in a world full of women who distract, that is rare. She's the kind of presence that doesn't shout, but echoes inside you long after she's gone. Now that you know the signs, the choice is yours. Keep falling for relationships that drain your energy, or start paying close attention to who's actually beside you. Is the woman you're getting to know today inspiring you to grow, or keeping you stuck in circles? Does she bring peace or confusion, a comforting silence or unnecessary drama? Every man needs to ask this question quietly, because it's in the quiet where the most powerful answers live. There's no magic formula, no ultimate test, but there is sensitivity, presence, and clarity. And when you cultivate those within yourself, you begin to understand. True love doesn't scream. It reveals itself through simple gestures, consistent choices, and presences that don't need explanation. And the most important thing? It begins within you. The kind of woman who's worth your life doesn't show up when you're desperate. She appears when you're ready. So I ask you, are you ready? Are you living as the kind of man who deserves the right woman? Or are you still waiting for her to fill the emptiness only you can heal? Don't outsource your growth. Take full ownership of your emotional journey. The right woman can walk beside you, but the path is still yours. And a man who avoids his own path never finds the woman who was meant to walk it with him. Comment below. I'm ready to recognize the right woman. I want to know how many men are truly prepared for this kind of connection. Thank you, truly, for watching until the end. Your presence here tells me you're looking for more than fleeting distractions. You're looking for truth. And that already puts you far ahead of the crowd. If this video resonated with you, hit the like button, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can keep diving deeper with me into this path of self-mastery, masculinity, and Stoic wisdom.